Thanks for tuning in to Streaming Futures. I'm Joel Holland, and we're in Atlanta, Georgia at Southern Company, sitting here with Marcus Aguilar, who is a lineman, and he's going to tell us about what it's like to be a lineman, what his job entails, and advice for you out there that would like to look into this as a career option, to give you the basics. You know when there's a storm, it hits, you're in your house, the power goes out, your television goes off, it always comes back on after a while. It's because of this guy. So, Marcos, tell us about your job. What is it like to be a lineman?
Well, to be a lineman, actually, first you got to start it from the beginning. It usually takes 4 years. Depends how accelerated your program is. Yep. You start from the beginning, as a UL1 going to UL2, then you go into a lineman. It's like I said, it's hard. It's pretty hard at the beginning. You got to do a bunch of tasks to go as a lineman. You got to climb off just hooks.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty good. It's fun, but it's hard.
So it keeps you in shape. You got to be in shape. You got to climb the poles.
Yeah. And then once you become lineman, it's still hard because you got to teach. You got to be in charge of a few guys.
So you start out. Talk about the levels. You say you start as a UL1, an unassigned lineman. What are some of the duties and tasks you have to do at that level?
First, as a 1 year, still learning, and you don't know much. The lineman, lead lineman, or whoever's in charge of you, he'll tell you what you need to do or what you need to learn to take tests when you go when you try to become a lineman, because you got to go through all kinds of tests. And when you become a 2, you pretty much know what to do, and then you work on the hot phases, and with hot wires. You can switch out of the transformers, which is green boxes on behind the buildings or in front of the houses. When you become a lineman, you're in charge of crew, or somebody's ahead over you, and he'll tell you what to do.
So you start out as a UL1, and that's kind of the basics, the training. You get your hands dirty, get in there. UL2, they actually put you on the hot wires, the active live wires, the transformers. And then you work your way up to becoming lineman, and you're in charge of teams. You were telling me earlier about 3 or 4 guys who will go out and, I guess, respond when the power goes down, if there's a problem in the grid.
Yes.
And then from there is the next level. You mentioned a journeyman. Is that the highest level?
No, journeyman lineman is like what I am. I've been a week as a lineman right now, and I'm like at the beginning, so I'm still a journeyman lineman. I'm working to be a lineman right now. You can consider me as a lineman, but I'm still learning how to talk on the radio, how to fill out paperwork. So I'm still more of journeyman lineman is just kind
You're
of
in the journeyman phase.
Yeah, it's just you just got to work to the top. You just getting also on pay, working to the top.
Sure. Right. Okay. Let's take an example. Last week, when you were on call, and I think you were telling me, Marcos was telling me that 1 week out of every month you're on call. And literally 24 hours a day, they can just call you up and say, you know, a line's down, we need you to go out there and fix it, right? So last week you were on call, and there were some lightning storms. So when there's a lightning storm, say there's a lightning storm today, let's say you're on call, what happens? What's the process?
Well, it's actually, for us, it's from 3:30 and on to morning. Let's say there's a storm and they call me in. They call up to as many people as they need and call in. But usually when they call someone in, they'll call about 3 guys to come and do our work. Depends what we got. If we got a bad cable, we got to fix that cable that night. If we can't put a service saver on it, which that helps a lot. A service saver is a machine that we can put on it, have temporary lights. But sometimes that's impossible because all 3 cables are bad and we had to fix them. But let's say it's a transformer. Like I said, it depends what kind of trouble we have. It can either be done in that 2 hours, 3 hours, or the whole night. If the next day there's some trouble again, we got to go back in
out there
and work.
And so I guess sometimes an electric strike might blow a transformer, in which case, what do you do then? Actually have to rebuild the transformer or replace the coils? Or
we got a bunch of hardware like to take care of transformer, so it won't blow transformer out. It'll
Right.
blow this, like we call an arrestor,
Right.
and it'll blow that out before it blows a transformer.
Gotcha.
And all it does, it blows the arrestor and a fuse, and all we got to do is change out the arrestor, and we go out there
Yep.
and the fuse and close it back in, and they'll have lights. But let's say the transformer does go bad. Let's say it, for some reason, lightning does make it go bad or burns it up. We got to change the whole transformer, and what else? Other stuff. It depends if other stuff burned down, or we got to
Right.
fix all that. But sometimes the transformer, if it's just a transformer that went out that whole night, Trouble Man goes out there and fixes it by himself or
Right.
with another guy. It depends. Like I said, it depends how much work we got out there to do.
Now, how do you find the problem? Let's say electricity goes down, in my house. I have no idea where the problem is.
Yeah.
How can you tell where in the grid the problem is?
Well, if we got trouble, usually a customer calls in, says they got lights out. If it's just a transformer, they'll call in and they say if it's lights out, and we go out there and just check out, ride the line, just go along the line and make sure nothing's burned down on top of the pole. And we, like I said, ride the line, and if we can't find anything, it's usually just a fuse blown, because lightning can blow the fuse and just open it back up.
Right.
And all we got to do is refuse it and close it in.
Sure.
But if, let's say it's a whole breaker that went out, usually the dispatch center can find out by little lights going off at the building.
Right.
And that's how they can find out whether lights are out. That's when they have to call a whole crew to go check it out also. And
Right.
if it's a broke pole, we got to fix it.
That's a little more involved.
That's more involved for a Trouble Man to do.